As a teacher, I'm always looking for ways to incorporate ear training and theory into my music lessons. And this is really difficult to do because there is already so much to learn just on the flute. So I was so excited to discover ToneGym, this amazing site where you can train your ear every single day if you like, in the comfort of your own home. Hi everyone, my name is Tatiana and this is the Flute Practice, a space to help you grow and learn not only on the flute but also as a musician. A huge thank you to ToneGym for collaborating on this video, and down below guys is a link to this amazing site, so go click on that now, go sign up so that you can follow along in this video. Now, I recently did a video where I outlined why I think ear training is so important, and I'm not going to go over those reasons today, so go check that out if you haven't yet. But I'm just going to say, guys, it is really an essential part of being a musician, and we can absolutely train our ears and get better at this. To start off, I just want to show you guys what ToneGym is all about and give you kind of a basic layout of the site. There are three main areas here that I think you need to get started on this journey. The first really important area is this learning tab. Now they've got a few courses here that you can do, and I really recommend this music theory basics course. This course really takes you step by step through pretty much everything you need to know about music, at least in terms of the basics. And it's going to be incredibly important on your ear training journey because it's going to help you to understand what you are listening to. It's no good doing the ear training exercises, but you actually have no idea what scales are or intervals are, or even how to work out the different rhythms of notes and how it all kind of fits together. So I really recommend doing this course and kind of side by side going through the ear training exercises. There are going to be a few moments in this video where I'm going to kind of assume you know a few things, or I'm going to briefly explain something. So if you need more information, this is the place to go. If we go back to the gym, we have got two main areas here as well to help you train your ears. The first really great area is this exercise area, and here you've got kind of all these different exercises to do in this area. This is really great because in this area you can do things as many times as you like and get them wrong over and over and over again, and it doesn't matter. You make mistakes and you're going to learn from them in this space. This is really your training ground. This is where you're going to practice these skills before you take them into the games, which is the next big area on the site. Now, I absolutely love the games because the games give you an opportunity to really test what you have learned. You only get 3 lives in the games. This is quite challenging and makes it quite difficult, but at the same time, you're going to get a score, and this is really, really, really awesome because it means you can track how you are progressing. Now, when you first sign up for the site, it can feel quite overwhelming. And I'm going to assume that you are signing up for the first time, that you don't really have any kind of experience in ear training. Maybe you've done a little bit, but you might even be starting completely from scratch. Now, ear training, and in fact, music for that matter, can be kind of split up into two main areas: pitch and rhythm. We're going to start off with that nice rhythm exercise tab. We're going to go check out some of those exercises. Remember, again, here, you can make as many mistakes as you like, so you can just kind of go for it. A little note on how most of these rhythm exercises work. They have like a little count-in, so they give you the beat, and then you use your space bar to tap along with the rhythms. It's pretty cool. There it is. Once you got comfortable with that exercise and you're kind of getting it right, fairly regularly, you can start having some fun with these little games here. The one is the rhythm parrot, which, as the title suggests, you are parroting back the rhythms. Quite literally that simple. So you're first going to get a count-in, then you're going to have a chance to memorize the rhythm they're giving you. They give you another count-in, and then you have to play it back. Seems simple. Pretty cool. Now, of course, as you go, this is going to get more and more complex and complicated, all of these exercises, and also you're going to level up. So things are going to heat up quite fast. I'm on the basic level here, so it is still fairly simple. This is really one of the things I love about ToneGym. They have taken ear training and they have made it a huge game. How cool is that? It's like really Duolingo for your ears. And on top of that, there are actually contests. There's a community, an amazing community that are all supporting each other, helping each other through these exercises. So it's really developed into a really fun, interactive community space that also happens to be training your ear. How cool is that? Okay, so that's the one side of things, is rhythm. And there you're just going to keep getting more and more complicated and more complex until you get to some pretty crazy rhythms. But we are going to skip over to the pitch side of things. And here there's a lot more to cover. So most of this video is going to be dealing with pitch. Again, the first step I advise is just go to the pitch exercise tab here and do these first exercises. Now the second exercise here, this pitch reading test, is useful if you're learning to read music for the first time and you kind of need to learn to do this faster. It's a nice little kind of quiz or test to help you learn your notes. But what I want to focus on today is just this first exercise where you're listening to different pitches, comparing them and deciding which one of them is the highest. Now that one is pretty simple, I think. We've got the middle one, fairly simple to hear. Okay, here we've got an interesting one. There are 3 notes here that are all really close together. Now my best suggestion for your intervals, and this is going to carry through this whole video, is to learn to sing them. It doesn't matter how badly you sing, learn to sing in some way or another, even if it's just like la, 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 groaning along. That's totally fine. Because here, what I would do is I would sing these 3 intervals. And I can feel my voice actually moving down. So I know, the first one is the highest one. Here's again, very close. Listen carefully. That third interval definitely was higher than the first, and so I'm going to click the first. So singing, guys, very powerful. Okay, so let's take a small step back away from ToneGym here and actually just dive a little bit more into the singing. An exercise that is incredibly helpful to do here is to sing a scale or learn to sing a scale. Now I'm just going to play a scale on my keyboard here that I've got nicely set up here. I'm going to actually make little tracks for you guys to sing along to. And if you would like to get those tracks, sign up to our mailing list because we're going to give you those tracks for free if you sign up down below. So here we go. Little scale. I'm going to play a C major scale. Da, 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 da. This is really high for me. Da, da, da. Not the world's best singing. That's my major scale. Da, 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 da. If you can just sing the first 5 notes even, you are doing wonderful work. So I'm going to play the scale one more time and just see if you can groan along 5 notes. If your cat didn't run away, you are doing well. Now you can do the same for minors. When you get to grips with the majors, now we want to play the minor. So here I'm really listening for that lovely 3rd note. And this brings me to the really important difference between the major and the minor scale. The major scale generally sounds quite happy or neutral. The minor scale sounds sad, and it's really those first 3 notes that give it away. The major, the minor. So again, go get those major and minor scale tracks that we are handing out to you guys. Put it onto some kind of a device when you go for walks or drive in your car that you can play along, sing along, and come to terms with these scales. Because the next exercise is actually learning to identify your scales. Can you hear the difference between major scales and minor scales? And here I am going to say it's going to be useful to get to grips with the difference between melodic minor, harmonic minor, and the natural minor. If this is absolute gibberish to you, go to that little theory section in the Learn tab, or go check out the videos that I have done explaining how all these different scales work. Okay, let's dive into that scales exercise section and let's see what's in store for us. So the first thing we're going to do here is just listening, whether it's a major, a minor, or, and you can see here, we've got that harmonic minor coming through. So you're going to need to understand the differences between your harmonic and your melodic minors, also the natural ones. Now, the first question you want to ask yourself is, does that scale sound happy or sad? Those first three notes should give it away. Da, da, da. Sad, woe's me. It's minor. The harmonic minor, we've got that raised seventh. Da, 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 da. I'm singing that really badly. Da, 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 da. That almost kind of like snake charmer top of the scale going on. That's your harmonic minor. We don't have that here. We have got the normal natural, the normal minor scale. Did you hear that top? Da, da, da. We've got the harmonic. Now we can go on to this nice little game, Scale Spy. It's basically the same game that you just did in the exercise section, except now you have lives. Does it sound neutral or happy or sad to you? Again, it's very useful if you can sing, because you can just even sing those first three notes. Da, da, da. That doesn't sound sad to me. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, woe's me, woe's the world. So, major. Again, guys, be willing to get this stuff wrong, because only by getting it wrong will you actually realize what's right. Okay, so once you have come to grips with singing your majors and your minors, it is now time to start exploring intervals. Again, that nice theory course is going to give you the details of exactly what intervals are and how they all work and everything. I'm going to just give you a basic outline today. An interval is basically just the distance between two notes. That's simple. And we name the interval based on the number of steps between those two notes. So for example, if there are 3 steps between notes, it's a third. If there are 4, it's a fourth. If there are 5, it's a fifth. We have got major and minor intervals. Generally, although not always, the major intervals belong to the major scale, the minor intervals belong to the minor scale. There's a small exception, and that is the second. There's a major second, which is a whole step, and a minor second, which is actually a half step. In other words, another way to look at this is if you take a scale like your major scale and you gave every single note in the scale a number from 1 to 8, the major second, the major third, the perfect fourth and fifth, I'm going to explain that in a moment, the sixth, the seventh, and of course the octave. Okay, why perfect fourth and perfect fifth? Also the perfect octave. Why? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's just because those intervals are the same whether they are on the major or the minor key. In both cases, they are the same interval, it doesn't change. Now, to start off with the oral exercises, you don't even really need to understand all that business about the majors and the minors and all the complexities there. So don't worry about that. You actually just need to understand the difference between your second, your major third, your perfect fourth, your perfect fifth, and that octave. And to do this, there are kind of 2 methods. The first method is to actually sing those intervals like we just did a moment ago with the scales. So I'm going to go back into this exercise section for the intervals. I'm going to listen to the interval. I'm listening to it. Da, da. I sing the 2 notes and now I count the steps between. Da, 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 da. 4. It's the fourth. But there is another method that I think is a little bit more robust and solid, especially for those of you who maybe are not quite so good at singing your scales yet, and that is to use different pieces of music to identify the intervals. For the second, a great piece of music to use is Happy Birthday. Happy birthday, da, da, the major second. For the third, a great piece is Morning is Broken, for those of you who know it. Morning has... You've got that nice third in the beginning, morning. It's also actually just the beginning of an arpeggio. So if you've been practicing your arpeggios, I hope you've been practicing them, then this exercise really shouldn't be as difficult because hopefully you'll know what your arpeggios sound like. Otherwise, another really great song to use is When the Saints, Oh When the Saints, Oh When the Saints, Oh When, third. Okay, the fourth, a really great one to use, my favorite one, is Amazing Grace. It's so easy to remember. Amazing Grace. Easy peasy. The fifth, another really popular song that most people in the world know. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. The octave is one that I think many people will know, and here you could probably Google and find other songs that you might know, but a really lovely one is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Somewhere over shouldn't sing. I'm joking. We should all sing. No matter how good or how bad it is, you should sing. Okay, so using this little song method, let's have a listen. Let's see if we can identify some pieces. Maybe it immediately reminds you of a song. If it doesn't, you can kind of go through the songs. So you can... Happy birthday. No, definitely not happy birthday. Oh, when the... That's not Oh, when the saints... May... Nope. Twinkle, twinkle. Bingo. We got it. Da da, happy birthday to you. If it's anybody's birthday, please comment down below. Give us a shout out. Happy birthday to you. Okay, so once you've had some fun, just practicing those nice intervals, well, there's actually a couple of things to do here. You could take that nice interval pitch test that we did at the beginning where you were looking at the highest pitches. You can do it now between two notes. So you're looking for the biggest interval. That's this next little exercise. Pretty useful. And quite challenging, especially when the notes are different. So you're using your ears to try and decipher which interval is the biggest and the smallest. It could be really useful to actually identify the interval as best you can, because then you'll know. So then we have these 4 wonderful games that you can play, and I'm just going to walk you through what they all are. The first one, this intervalis, is actually the most difficult one. So I'm going to save that one for the end because that's playing 2 notes at the same time, which is very difficult to hear unless you're really comfortable with your intervals. The best one to start with is actually this departure. So we're going to start there, and we are going to basically do that same exercise that we just did. Somewhere over. Now, again, I'm quite good at intervals, so I do recognize these quickly. I'm going to give you guys a moment and see if you can recognize them. Remind you of anything? Twinkle, twinkle. Any guesses? Amazing Grace. Okay, go get ToneGym and have some fun with that. Once you've done that, you can start trying to do lander. This is challenging because now you're going backwards, and there actually are a whole series of songs that go along with the intervals going backwards as well. I must be honest with you, I tend not to remember those, and so I'll show you my method here. Da, 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 da. So you can kind of sing them backwards and then sing them forwards again and then see if they remind you of any songs. That's what I would recommend. In this case, it's pretty easy because it's not the same note, which is P1, right? P1, perfect 1, the interval of a 1th. It's the same note. Okay, so once you have done those 2 exercises, your next little one is to do this nice calibrator. That's actually pretty much the same as the second interval comparison test. So here you're just comparing the intervals, except this time you are doing it as a little game. Once you start really getting good at those intervals, you can now start doing this nice intervalis exercise, which is listening to those intervals and trying to do them together at the same time. It's challenging, right? So what you want to be able to do here is be able to hear out both of those different notes and then sing the interval. Da, 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 da. They pretty much sound like the same note, so that also gives it away for me. It's the perfect octave or the perfect 8th. Bum, bum, it's a 5th. Ha! I passed the level! Okay guys, so that's kind of where I'm going to leave you today. There is more to do, plenty more to do, because after this point where we've kind of mastered these lovely intervals, it's time to move on to your chords, identifying chords, and you could probably start there already, getting into those major and minor chords, hearing the difference. We then have to also get into inversions, listening to inversions of chords and chord progressions, and if you have no idea what I'm speaking about, rather go and do the theory course first, and definitely make sure that you have got a very good grasp of intervals before you start tackling those chords, because otherwise you are going to be lost and terrified, and I'm gonna have to come find you like curled up in a ball somewhere to help you out. I'm joking. But seriously, if you do need some help with your ear training or with your theory, we are going to be starting some really nice theory and ear training classes soon. My best suggestion, guys, is get onto our mailing list. Seriously, number one, we are going to actually send you those nice tracks that you can learn to sing scales along to. We're also going to send you a breakdown of this video so that you can follow this process step by step on ToneGym, but we'll also send you updates when you can sign up for those nice ear training and theory classes. A huge, huge, huge thank you to ToneGym, not only for this absolutely amazing site. Seriously, from the bottom of this teacher's heart, you have made my job so much easier. But also thank you to them for collaborating with the Flute Practice on this video. Guys, the links below are affiliate links, which means you're not only signing up to this amazing site, but you're actually also supporting the work that I do here. Happy practicing, have fun guys, happy ear training, and see you guys next time.